So when the world was calling out and saying that we desperately need something, clearly the answer to that something was for us to get another Thor film. And that's exactly what everybody was asking for when the world called out. And I'm completely making it up. No, we do not need another Thor film. But apparently, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting another Thor film. So apparently, we have an article from Bounding Into Comics, and it says Taika Waititi says the next Thor film should aim at carrying on with the evolution of the character, but is still in a very fun way. Ladies and gentlemen, they didn't get the point, okay? We used to talk about all the time when Thor Love and Thunder came out. We used to make videos about the fact that this character is completely a shell of its former self. Like, Thor in the MCU is not the Thor that was initially in the MCU. They completely cucked this character. They made him a joke. Even Hemsworth himself said that this entire thing is a joke. He said that he would not come to another Thor character movie unless they changed up the direction of the character. And look at him now. He's going to come back to the film and they're going to cuck him yet again. I guarantee you this film is going to be a massive joke. Why are they coming out with a Thor 5 film? I have absolutely no idea, but we're going to get into it, guys. So, of course, before we do, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. It says, in the opinion of Thor Ragnarok and Thor Love and Thunder director Taika Waititi, should Marvel ever choose to trot the God of Thunder back out for a fifth cinematic adventure, the resulting film's main goal should be carrying on with the evolution of the character, but still in a very fun way. The man who ruined the Marvel Cinematic Universe's incarnation of the Odin's son shared his thoughts on the hero's future while speaking to Marvel for their upcoming Thor Love and Thunder, the official movie special book. Per excerpts of the behind-the-scenes guide provided by Screen Rant, faced with the question of what is left to do with him, Waititi asserted it's got to be something that feels like it's carrying on with the evolution of the character, but still in a very fun way and still giving him things to come up against that feel like they're building on the obstacles that he has to overcome. To this end, the Green Lantern 2011 actor, yes, really, then asserted, I don't think we can have a villain that's weaker than Hela. I feel like we need to step up from there and add a villain that's somehow more formidable. Though the director did not name any specific threats with who he felt could fill this role, he would go on to note that Thor's character is strongly rooted in the mythology that he originates from, and as such could face more and more outlandish and crazy beasts, monsters, and aliens. So listen, guys, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if they should really come out with a Thor 5, because at the end of the day, yes, Thor movies tend to gross very high. That's the truth, okay? It's been grossing less and less over time, but I think that's to be expected from movies that have that many sequels, okay? That many movies, that many sequels. If it wasn't for a combined cinematic universe, it probably would be doing even less, considering that it's going to go towards its fifth film now. But most movies don't have that level of staying power, but they do still gross very high, considering, you know, Thor Love and Thunder, as shitty as a movie as that was, did an enormous amount of money at the box office. So you gotta admit that it does make money. So realistically speaking, from a profit standpoint, I think they have a reason to do a Thor 5. So Waititi concluded his thoughts. There's a fun element to him, and he has a casualness and a sort of swagger about him when he visits these worlds and encounters these aliens, and I don't think you'd get that when it's an Earthling traveling through space exploring the universe. Well, you know, just because he's a god doesn't mean you necessarily have to make him a joke. Like, that's the problem. Like, he's supposed to be a figure, like a figure that is supposed to be looked at and respected, and instead you made Thor into just such a massive joke, and that's the biggest issue. Like, Thor is such a joke that people have started to notice. Like, even the normies have started to notice that Thor is not what he was in the original MCU. Thor of today is nowhere near Thor of yesterday. And yes, there was a little bit of joking around in the original Thor movies, but that's because he was a god getting acclimated to Earth life. So yeah, of course a god from Asgard is not going to quite understand what it's like to live on Earth. So that was a funny aspect of the movie that also made sense, but the rest of it just ended up being a massive joke just because you wanted to make him into one, and it just doesn't make any sense. Unfortunately, while Waititi's sentiments sound reasonable at face value, fans should take specific note of his assertion that a potential Thor 5 should carry on with the evolution of the character. Where once Thor was a classic archetype of a brash prince who needed to learn humility ahead of his destiny as king, thanks to Waititi's proud disregard for the source material and his incessant need to subvert audience expectations at all costs, the hero is now little more than a deaf-fanged joke where those entire existence have been rendered nearly pointless thanks to him having given up his position as Asgard's ruler to Valkyr, and the Love of Thunder having established that his power set is non-unique, transferable, and able to be wielded by literal children. That was a massive I remember this scene. This scene was hilarious to me because it really solidified where Thor was. And I get it, man. They tried to do this whole thing where they got the kids involved and all that. And it was really cool. And graphically, it was really impressive. But at the end of the day, Thor's powers is no longer his, man. Thor's powers were given to everybody. It was given to Jane. It was given to literally everybody. And he also gave up his position as Asgard's ruler to the Valkyries. So it just made it even more ridiculous that Thor, what was the point of Thor being in the movie? Honestly, what was the point? They put him in there just to use his namesake, and that's it. They put him in there to draw people into the seats because they knew that the Valkyrie and Jane was not going to be able to draw seats like Thor and Hemsworth were. They just know that that's going to be the way. So they thought they would put him in there to draw people into the seats and subvert expectations, just like they always do. It says, as such, should Golden Avenger continue in his current Waititi-led direction, as of writing, there are no confirmed plans for a Thor 5, nor has the director signed on for any additional Marvel projects. One can only imagine how much more damage would be done to his character. So listen, guys, at the end of the day, Thor is just that character that's going to be used just like the Hulk. Thor and the Hulk are being used to bolster up women while also destroying men at the end of the day. MCU is not what it was. This is why we call it the MCU. This is why that term has been coined by Nerdrotic and Geeks and Gamers and all those guys, because that's the best way to describe what's exactly going on currently in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is the MCU. They went after Phase 4. They went into a completely other direction, and since then, they have not been able to recover. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like this video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.